Welcome back to the Road Show. This morning in the buzz, the pilots of a Northwest Airlines jet that missed their landing by 150 miles are probably going to be out of a job, and many are having a hard time believing their explanation for what happened. Now, the pair have now told aviation officials they had their headsets off during the trip. They were glued to their laptops while they were going over crew schedules. Many people thought that maybe they had fallen asleep. They say that's not true. Basically, they just weren't paying attention. Of course, they have both been suspended, and officials say it is a major violation that will likely leave them grounded for good. You know, at first we had heard the story that the possibility was that they had fallen asleep. Then we heard that they may have given this first story, the initial story, that they were in a heated discussion over FAA politics. Do we now believe this? I mean, do you guys believe that it's possible they were going over their crew schedules?
Well, here's the bottom line. I don't care what you believe. The bottom line is they weren't paying attention.
Yeah. There we go. That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's the bottom line.
I mean, it doesn't matter if they're sleeping, if they're, well, right. I mean, that would really
Whether they were
stink.
on their computer.
If they were playing ping pong, it doesn't matter what they're doing.
If they were playing rummy in there, I don't care.
You're responsible for X amount of dozens of people behind you. You should be. There's two of you. One of you should at least be paying attention.
You know, one of the things that they're saying, and these are two pilots who have absolutely clean records.
Yes.
One of the things that people are saying is that it's this idea that autopilot is such a powerful thing now. It can do just about everything. That pilots are kind of
it can lull you into a
complacency.
false sense of security.
Right. Yeah. Do you think these guys should be fired over all of this? Do they think they should lose their pilot's license? What do you think should happen?
Well, firing maybe, losing their pilot's license and their livelihood, I don't think so.
Okay.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. If they weren't paying attention, that's terrible. God forbid that plane would have crashed. It'd be a different story. I'm torn between.
What do you think, Sean?
Well, I don't think they should lose their pilot's license. I just don't see another airline picking them up.
Yeah, that's
after
true.
this. And you know, I'm with you. Give a second chance, especially if they have a clean background. But the fact that the fighter jets were this close to being called to this plane,
White House was nearly notified.
I mean, you know, that's a little scary. So perhaps you should pay a little bit more attention.
Getting back to this issue of, you know, what they were doing in the cockpit, I have a suspicion that they were not going over crew schedules. My suspicion is that they were able, possibly, that they were able to bring in their laptops and they were, you know, just kind of.
They were on Facebook.
They were on Facebook, or they were doing whatever they were doing.
I'll tell you this, though.
No, and I don't doubt that. My point again is I don't care what you were doing.
I care.
The point is you weren't paying attention.
Here's the reason I care. I think that's my number one, my primary concerns. But secondarily, if they're lying about it, that is concerning to me.
150 miles can go pretty fast in a jet, though. So what is that? A matter of
like this,
a few
like
minutes.
This to this.
Yeah. A few minutes. I mean,
but how much further would they have gone if the flight attendant didn't go and say, "What's going on? Where are we?"
Here's my question to Courtney Caligiuri. Courtney, as you're on the live blog and on Facebook, is there anyone who is participating in this dialogue who is flying a plane currently that you can ascertain?
You know, I don't think they're going to tell us, do they?
They better not this morning, right?
What? Let's put out an invitation there to a commercial jet pilot to talk to us about this and maybe give us a better insight as to what's going on.
Yeah, one preferably on the ground.
Here's what worries me about this whole thing. I just want to throw that out there. This is the first time they've been caught. You have to think this has happened before, right? So it's even more disturbing. But here's what some of our folks on the live blog on foxprovidence.com was saying. And Lisa says, I don't care what they were doing. They should have been paying attention. And one artist says it, you know, probably was the internet, but copping a nod, don't you think? You know, probably taking a nap there. We have a lot of comments on Facebook I want to get to. So here's our poll on foxprovidence.com. Do you believe the pilot's story? Your choices are A, yes, the investigation showed the truth. B, no, there's more to it than distraction. Here's a couple comments right now on foxprovidence.com. I read on CNN.com that they are going to review the cockpit voice recordings and see if they can match up their story. That's from Jessica Cabral. And Jad Namani says, if by work you mean YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, then yes, he says he believes their story. But I'll be back at the end of the show to see what you all voted in our poll. But for now, let's go back to the kitchen. Lily, what's going on?
Well, I tell you what.